It's 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time from the worldwide headquarters of YAA. This is Saturday Night with Zach and Ray. The worldwide headquarters in downtown Bethesda, Maryland. I need to tie my shoe.
All right, my dad bought a car today. We're going to talk about that. That is the breaking news story. However, before we jump into that, I want to ask everyone briefly. There's a link at the top of the video description. Please fill out that survey. It's like 5 or 6 questions. We're doing some research. We want to talk to some people. So if you can, pretty please click on that link down below. We are looking to talk to 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 or 10 people. Yeah. Please click on that link. Please fill out the survey.
What is the survey?
I'll show you during the stream at some point.
Okay.
Pops, I wanted to kick tonight's show off with the fact that some dealerships are really going above and beyond to screw consumers, and
not the dealership I dealt with.
Not the dealership you dealt with today. We're gonna and then you come in here and you bought a car today or leased a new car. So we're gonna talk about that. But let's kick things off with this post that was on our community forum. It comes by way of Earl Stewart. Earl, thanks for being a part of our community. And Earl, I owe you a phone call. I did not forget. I still owe you a phone call. My apologies. Congratulations to WPLG Channel 10 in Fort Lauderdale, and Jeff Weinseer, investigative reporter, for having the courage to air this expose of South Florida car dealerships cheating customers by adding hidden and illegal charges, which are disguised profits for the dealer to the dealer. We were actually interviewed for this piece.
Yes.
We got chopped on the cutting room floor, evidently.
Must have been a bad performance.
Yeah, we must have screwed something up. That's okay. Long story short here, Dad.
Yeah.
Car dealerships in Florida, we'll click through the page. Car dealerships in Florida are adding anywhere from, I don't know, $1,000 to $2,500 in fees on lease buyouts.
Illegally, we might add.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also at the same time, if I've got it right here, North Jersey auto dealership reaches $400,000 fraud settlement with the state. This comes on the heel of the FTC in Napleton group $10 million fine in the state of Arizona. Yep.
And the $1.1 million settlement with Coons Automotive in Maryland for their Kia store.
And the ABC Nissan in Arizona and the other Nissan dealership with $500,000. Yeah. Are we starting to see
a crackdown?
A crackdown, the crumbling.
Oh, excuse me.
That was a lot of spittle.
Yeah. Cracking the whip, baby. Yeah. The AGs and everybody else are cracking the whip.
Yeah. Sorry, there's a flood advisory here in the YAA studios.
Sorry about that, folks.
Rain chances.
Yeah.
We've got here from Troy. Thanks for the contribution, Troy. What's your favorite German brand? It's probably, I don't know. You got one?
German brand. Favorite German brand.
Audi?
Yeah, I do have one. Yeah.
Mine's Audi.
Yeah, the Audi RS6 Avant.
Yeah, exactly.
That is my favorite German car, period. End of sentence. We can stop that conversation right there, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so let's bring this back to what's going on at the dealerships. Is this, seriously, are they cracking down? Is this going to be the new normal? Because let's be very clear, these lease end, the issue with the lease end was hacking on all sorts of fees and things like that are totally illegal and cannot be done. But dealerships are getting away with it because consumers aren't pushing back. They don't know that it's illegal. They don't know who to turn to. But we're seeing now local governments and groups put on some pressure. We have the Vroom lawsuit out of the state of Texas, for example. We have the class action lawsuit against Carvana. It feels like it maybe a changing of the guard.
Perhaps. The thing in Florida is that nobody seems to know who really should be policing this. So nobody is. That's pretty wonderful. But in other states, yes, attorney generals are getting involved in different states and kind of responding to the consumer complaints that they're getting in regards to some of the practices that we keep seeing and hearing about from dealers. And it's not like it's new stuff. It's stuff that's, they don't have to look hard. They just have to look.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not difficult to find a dealer that advertises a price online and then send a mystery shopper into that dealership in regards to that car and say, yeah, I'd like to buy that car. What's the price again? And the price is now $10,000 higher. That doesn't take a whole lot of effort to find that out.
Mick Victor here saying, well, what about the BBB? Don't they do this?
Well, it's not the Better Business Bureau's job to enforce laws and consumer protection laws that are on the books.
Yeah.
It's the Consumer Protection Agency's job to do that, or the Attorney General's job to do that. The Better Business Bureau is a third party that you as a consumer can go to and file a complaint about a dealer, and they will try to mediate that with you or for you. But they don't have the authority to impose penalties, fines and penalties like the Attorney General's office can do.
We've got an interesting comment. Hey, Igor, good to see you. Dealers always got fined, but it was kept on a low key. It was low key on a local level, but now due to the car issues, those fines are becoming national news. And that's why I mentioned a second ago, I owe Earl Stewart a phone call because publicly, I told him I'd call him earlier today and I didn't. I'm sorry, Earl. That's on me. I know I screwed up. The reason I want to get in touch with Earl is because Jeff Weisner, who did the reporting for ABC 10 about these illegal lease end fees, he interviewed Earl for part of that. I want to get Earl and Jeff and us two on a video for YouTube. And if that thing can get a couple 100,000 views, maybe we can drum up some attention about how actually this is a national news story. This is not just happening in Florida.
No,
Pennsylvania.
It's happening everywhere. It's and like I say, it's easy. It's easy to spot. There's very few dealers that aren't advertising prices that aren't legitimate or that are legitimate.
Yep.
It's the laws are on the books. The regulations are on the books. It's just a matter of enforcing them. And truth be told, if the Consumer Affairs Department or the Attorney General's office wanted to be, this would be a full-time job. They wouldn't be able to do anything else if they really tried to crack down on dealerships within the confines of every state. And for instance, in that Florida situation, it was mentioned that the TV station contacted the Florida Automobile Dealers Association, which is a trade organization and a lobbying organization that represents over 1,000 dealers in the state of Florida.
Wow, I didn't realize there were that many.
Yes.
Wow.
And well, they couldn't get them to comment. And the reason they can't get them to comment is because they wouldn't have anything good to say. Although they would try and spin it so that well, we don't really recommend that our dealers do things like this, but the ones that do, they should be brought to justice.
I need to find. It's going to take me a second here, and I'll try my best to do it in between while we're talking. There's a great comment online that I need your reaction to because it so eloquently sums up what you were just describing. Now, that being said, Dad, here we go. This is from Michael Perry. Let's talk about this. I'm in Florida. A Toyota dealer is telling me that the Toyo Guard is mandatory, but the Toyota website lists it as an accessory. What the hell?
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about this because this is another. I don't want to say Florida specific because it's also Georgia and South Carolina,
North Carolina, and Alabama.
But this is a Florida special.
It's Southeast Toyota distributors. If you can find a dealer that gets their cars through them. And that might have an incoming car or one that might be allocated, and you ask them specifically to ask for the car to be allocated without that, they very well might be able to do it. But most dealers have already agreed to have that installed at the port so that they can charge the consumer for it. And that's why because if it's on the Monroney label,
it's put on by Southeast Toyota
at the port.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a port installed accessory that can then go on the Monroney label. For instance, on a certain Mini, you'll notice on the window sticker, it had all season floor mats and rubber cargo mat. They were on the window sticker. They were port installed accessories. They weren't dealer installed, and they weren't installed at the factory.
And the issue with Southeast Toyota, at least from my perspective, is the fact that it's owned by JM&A Associates, Jim Moran and Associates, which is one of the largest providers of ancillary F&I products in the whole country. And so it's just a captive profit center that's tied directly back to the fact that Toyota relies upon them for distribution. It's Brian's got it right. Southeast Toyota is screwing everyone. They won't make changes before a car hits port. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not much you can do about it, though.
We've got a nice, thoughtful contribution here from the Tommy Bernard podcast.
Well, thank you, Tommy Bernard.
Hey guys, love your channel and information. I need the skinny on Mercedes of Annapolis before I pull the trigger. Thanks in advance.
What?
We actually used to live outside of Annapolis. Do you know anything about Mercedes of Annapolis?
What would you like me to know? I mean, I know the group that owns them. Um,
Good,
I,
bad, indifferent. What's your take?
it's they're part of the Heritage Group, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. I tried to have a conversation with them once, didn't go particularly well.
Were you thinking of working there?
Maybe perhaps offering my services. I mean, it's part of the Heritage organization. They're a somewhat respectable, very respectable organization in the Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia area.
You sound like a car salesman right now.
Because I don't want us to get sued. And I don't personally know anybody at that store. But it is in the capital of Maryland. So, one would assume
the capital
that they can't be screwing too many of the state legislators that might come in to buy a car there.
All right. Tommy, send me an email, Zach at joinyaa8.com.
What do you want me to say on air, Tommy?
Honestly, the dealer reviews is a great place to look. Noel Mendez, $4.99 contribution. We really appreciate that. If a dealership is trying to force a ridiculous markup on a vehicle like the new Ford Lightning truck, can they be reported to Ford? Will it help? This, I want you to answer, but then I have the best thing to queue up for this. I found it while you were going off.
Can they be reported to Ford? Absolutely they can. Will Ford do anything about it? Absolutely they won't.
All right, take a quick peek at this. This was on Twitter, and it is hilarious.
Okay.
So this was from a post on Reddit on the Ask Car Sales thread asking if manufacturers are punishing dealers for charging over MSRP. So the question was, dealers over MSRP, are car makers actually fighting back? The reply that made me laugh pretty damn good.
Yeah.
To the public, quote, these markups are bad and we are investigating. To the dealers, quote, hey guys, great news. Finance program has been updated to allow for market adjustments.
Yeah, there you have it. The manufacturers talk out of both sides of their mouth. And they are not in a position to be able to say to their dealer body, you can't sell it for whatever the market will bear, because they can. It's an independent franchised business.
Yep.
The window sticker lists the manufacturer's suggested retail price. Oftentimes, that suggested retail price is way more than the car is worth. Okay. And so dealers used to have to discount those cars a great deal in order to get people to buy them.
Yep.
And now we happen to be in a particular time in history where the manufacturer's suggested retail price is well below what people are willing to pay for these things. And since it's only a suggested retail price, the dealer ultimately is allowed to sell it for whatever he can get for it, or whatever the market will bear. Now, the smart dealers that are playing the long game will realize that it doesn't make sense to reap a huge profit today at the risk of losing that customer as a customer in the future. And that's the stupid dealerships that do that. And the smart dealerships say, you know what, we want to build a relationship with the people that are buying cars from us. We won't sell our cars above MSRP.
What I'm realizing, Dad, is that the OEMs, the manufacturers, have no control over the dealerships. The only groups that do are the FTCs of the world, or the state's attorneys generals, or organizations like ours, quite frankly. Anyone else is pretty much in bed with them. I mean, they really, really are. Like, the reason I'm saying that is because Ford, a really nice article came out. Did you know Jim Farley's doing a podcast? You know, that was on the front page of Automotive News this week. Like,
He's doing a podcast? Maybe he'd like to join us.
Ford has a new plan to stop dealer markups. You know, exactly.
Could I be the one that calls him out on it? Could I be the one that says, hey, Jim, talk about BS, and we're not talking about big stuff. We're just talking about BS here. I mean, it's nice to say it. I know you want the public to hear you saying it, but the fact that you won't do anything about it says even more. That speaks much more loudly than your hollow words.
I would love if we could get someone from Ford on the show.
They won't do it.
I'll try. I haven't reached out.
They know I'm going to blast them. I would. Unfortunately, after having spent 43 years in the retail automobile business, typically for most manufacturers, I have nothing but disdain for them. Okay. I know how they operate. I know they're in it all about them. They're not in it about the customer. They're not in it about their dealership partners.
Yeah.
They're in it about them.
Yeah.
Okay. So no, I'm sorry. They can, Jim Farley can say whatever he wants to say, but until they actually do something or hold somebody accountable, and the only way in most cases that they can revoke a dealer's franchise agreement is if A, the dealer gets convicted of a felony, okay, or the dealer goes what's called out of trust, where they're selling vehicles and collecting the money on them, but not paying off the captive lender to clear those vehicles.
You got to do something illegal.
Oh my God, do you ever?
And the thing is, you got to do something illegal and then not settle, because you could do illegal stuff and settle
without admitting guilt.
Exactly.
And you're still fine, which is why every time we see these fines, it's the dealer has never admitted guilt. They just felt it was in the best interest of everybody's best interest if they just settled and paid this small fine. Or in the case of Napleton, this $10 million fine, which sounds like a lot of money until you realize that they're $1 billion a year business.
It's unfortunate because Tom's kind of got it right. Companies haven't cared about customers for decades. Honestly, I think that's spot on.
Here, let me help you. Companies have never cared about customers.
How do we do it then? Like, legitimately, is it just because we're small enough now and it's you and me?
Yes.
I hope we don't lose that.
It's up to you as to whether or not you lose it. If you are a big company, a big corporation, a big manufacturer, a big whatever.
But CSI, Dad.
The CSI was invented once again to placate people, to make it seem like, well, the manufacturer really cares. They don't care. They never have cared. In most cases, when manufacturers are given the opportunity to do the right thing on behalf of a customer, typically they choose not to. They leave it to the dealer to do it. They don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. They want the dealer to do it. So you just have to realize that most big businesses, the only thing they're looking at is their bottom line. And most of these are publicly traded companies. They have, as we like to say, a fiduciary responsibility to their investors to maximize the return for those investors. So no, they're not really going to go and upset the apple cart.
And then again, to come full circle, and then we need to jump into some of the chat messages because there's quite a few. Thank you for everyone being here.
Yes.
The reason why tonight's stream is car dealers are crumbling is because we're seeing little cracks. Cracks.
We are seeing more attention being paid to consumers being ripped off than we have in the past. Or at least more publicity surrounding it when there's a fine or a cease and desist orders issued.
And even just the fact that ABC's news story about the lease, the fees being charged at the end of a lease, like the fact that even got published when a lot of the ad revenue for that ABC channel probably comes from dealers, that's a good sign.
Yes.
That's genuinely a good sign. All right, Pops, let's go back here to the chat. We've had quite a few thoughtful messages come in. OAPW, thank you for the contribution. Toyota Highlander hybrid or Tesla Model Y long range, looking to place an order. What's your take on that? I have a $65,000 budget.
I don't know. Can you get a Tesla for $65,000 anymore?
I don't know.
Me personally, if it were me, I would do a hybrid.
I would too.
Okay. I don't think that the extra money that one spends in order to get an electric vehicle, unless you're planning on keeping that vehicle for about 10 to 15 years, that you're ever going to see the fuel savings enough to have made it worthwhile to spend that extra money.
Yeah, I would go with the Toyota as well, just because I think the resale value on that is even safer than the Tesla personally.
Well,
I think hybrids are going to be even more in demand in a few years than they are right now.
And I don't want to be political in any way, shape, or form.
Let's please do our best because we know that.
But Elon Musk is doing his best to shoot himself in the foot and to piss off any number of people that might have thought about potentially buying a Tesla.
I'm sure there's a subset, but to be fair, when you're that outlandish at that stage, you're going to piss off people no matter what.
Yes.
Let's move on. We do not want to go down too deeply down that path.
I stopped.
And that's why we're going to pull this up from R. Dillon 517. Kiss dad on the head. Wait, let me queue up.
That's only worth $20.
Wait, put your headphones on. I'm gonna kiss you on the head. We're at least gonna have like. Give me a second. Let's see. For kiss on the head, we probably do.
I'm not putting my head any lower. You okay now?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Oh, come on,
Why did I put on a slow jam loop?
I don't know. You've kissed me on the cheek before. What's the big deal about kissing me on the head?
I love you, man.
Yeah, I love you too.
Okay, John's got a question for us. Have dealerships tried to shut you guys down? No, not yet. No. People call and they tell us like, hey, take our cars off your website, things like that, but nothing bad, which is really, really good. A lot of people actually, I think, like what we're doing. Brian here. We have gained so many customers from our competitors because we are not charging over MSRP. Customers would have never gotten here before. Perfect example.
And can I say something to Brian?
Huh.
Because Brian was kind enough to send me some information on a CX-30.
Yeah. Okay.
And Brian, as you probably know by the picture of my new Mini behind me, I flopped today for a new car at the dealership when I was in for service. So I appreciate that you sent me the information on the CX-30, and I saw one driving home. And damn, that's a good looking vehicle. And I was ready to kick myself in the butt for that. But then I realized I had already signed on the dotted line.
So let's talk a little bit about this, Pops. Can you please explain? You had 5 months left on your current lease, and you moved into a new lease today. You got a new Mini Clubman All-4 Special Edition, a 2023 model year.
Yes.
There are so many pieces of this I feel like are interesting. 2023 model year on May 21st. May 21st. I didn't know that the 2023 model year had turned already.
Well, sometimes they bring out models really early. They might bring them out the next model year. They might bring them out in March.
Yep.
That's the earliest I've ever seen it. But since they're getting ready to do away with the Clubman altogether, they just figured, well, let's make them a 2023 and we'll make some special editions. And bless their hearts, they made a special edition that caught my eye today.
And you ended up leasing it.
and now my Tookus sits in the driver's seat.
So let's talk about two things here. One is you had lease equity. Can you explain to everyone your situation there? Because there's a lot of people whose leases are going to be coming due.
And may I say this up front? Yeah. I violated every piece of advice that I give to people.
At least you're honest about it.
I'm nothing.
Wait, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
This is also not meant to be political or create a divide. Do you think Dave Ramsey goes by because let's be very clear, he's worth millions,
more,
tens of millions.
Yeah, okay, at least.
You think he still does everything like that? So at least you're honest. You give the advice, but at least you're honest because you're human too.
I'm very human, and I will, I tell people, you have equity. I mean, God bless him. I trained Jason really well.
See, the sales manager today,
he's the
general manager today is someone that you used to.
I trained.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the first words out of Jason's mouth were, now, Ray, this car is MSRP wise is $2,000 more than your current car. That right there is $60 a month in payments. I taught you that, Jason. Okay. That was the first thing. I saw the car and as I say, I violated all the advice that I give the people. I said, Jason, we're going to trade it, not just do a lease payoff. He goes, yeah, I know, because I'm pretty sure I have equity.
Yeah.
And he showed me a wee little bit of equity. And I said, that wee little bit's not nearly enough. You know it and I know it. And so he showed me even more equity. And he ACV'd my car for $30,500. And my payoff
actual cash value.
Yeah, and my payoff was $28,706.99. So I had almost $1,800 in equity. Now, normally I would tell you, don't ever use that as a capitalized cost reduction to lower your payment, because all you're doing is lowering the cost of the vehicle to the bank so you can get a lower payment. I tossed the equity. Of course. Because I was payment driven at that point. And so, yes, so I violated all the advice that I give people. What I should have said is give me a check back for that.
Yep.
But I didn't. because I didn't. I didn't want to. I didn't really want to bust his chops because he was already giving me quite a bit off.
Yeah.
And they don't have to give anything off.
Yeah.
And so I didn't think it was fair to bust his chops, because he was taking really excellent care of me, considering the situation. And here, let me explain the situation. They got a truckload of 5 new cars in earlier this week, of which, when I got there today, they had 4 new cars still left. 4 for an entire mini dealership. 4. Okay. They now have 3.
Yeah.
Because I bought one. If you don't have any inventory, he did me a favor and he gave me a discount.
Yeah.
So I couldn't, in good conscience.
Yeah, I get it.
Because I trained him and he's a friend of mine and he treated me like a friend.
Good question here from Al.
Yes.
Why lease over buy?
Al, I'm about to be 71.
Birthday on Wednesday. Please join us on Wednesday.
I always lease my cars because they're always under warranty and they always have free maintenance. And that way I don't have to worry about anything. And that's just the way I am. And then, with any hope whatsoever, in 3 years, maybe the market will come back to some degree of normalcy. The one thing I will tell you is that the residual value on the Clubman is lower today than what the residual value was on my 2020 Clubman.
Wow.
Well,
but the money factor must be higher.
Well, the money factor is higher than it used to because they don't tier the rates anymore at Mini. It's if you're approved, regardless of what your credit score is. So those of us that have good credit scores are underwriting those who have lower credit scores. So we get to pay a little higher interest rate than we normally would have. And I'm okay with that. But my point is that the residual values are less because, they know this is the last year for it.
Yeah.
So they don't want to be caught with them. So the residual value is lower. The money factor is higher. But even with that, 3 years from now, the residual is only 27 and change. It's about the same as what it was on my current one. And if the market's still crazy, then I'll be in a position again where I'll have equity, or I can buy it, or things will have returned to normal. The car will actually be worth less than its residual value, and I'm
move out of it. Yeah,
and I'm free to move out of it and do whatever I want to do.
A couple things I thought were interesting.
At 74, I mean, it's 71.
Yeah,
it's like when you look at bananas, you make sure they're yellow. You ain't buying any green bananas. Well, I don't need to buy a car on a 6-month or a 6-year note. I'd like to be around in 6 years, but I don't want to be stroking that check every month for the next 6 years.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So this is a screenshot of the Monroney label that you had. A couple of things that I found interesting. First one is, Dad, the alarm system credit.
Yes.
Mini gave you $350 back.
Yes.
Because the alarm system isn't actually in the vehicle. Is that chip shortage related?
Yes.
You scroll down just a little bit. There's the heated steering wheel credit, a $100 credit back to you because the heated steering wheel is not working. Are these things those are the 2 credits? Yes. Are those things that the dealership told you, hey, you just come back and
no,
they're never coming into the vehicle?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
So they're not going to be retrofitted on?
No. Didn't mention it. Didn't ask. I don't care if it has an alarm or not. I park in a garage wherever I park. I park in a garage.
Yeah.
And as far as the heated steering wheel is concerned, I still park in a garage in the winter, and I drive a mile to work.
I just found it interesting.
Yeah, no, I think it's interesting. I mean, it wasn't the content package that Audi puts on their cars.
Yeah.
Here's the things we couldn't give you.
Yeah. All right, let's jump back to the chat then. I want to turn our attention to a few other stories. Igor reminding us that there's a dealership in Rockville, Maryland that sells Chevy and GM. The group starts with the letter O.
Does.
Has a memo framed and hang up in the GM's bathroom for him to laugh at.
Yeah.
So these are the memos from the manufacturers.
I know exactly which dealership you're talking about, and God bless them, Igor. They have a number of stores that are actually within walking distance of our office.
Yeah, they really
and I drive past them every day.
We've got a question here from QBNTO1, My Life in Okinawa. Okay. Coming back to the States in July of 2023, will car prices be normal by then?
Um,
I'm going to parlay this into some thoughts that I had earlier in the day, but I'm curious, Ed, 2023, you think car prices are
will they be normal by
then?
then? It depends on the economic conditions at that time. I believe.
Space with a great question for you, by the way. No Harman Kardon credit. You actually got the Harman
I
Kardon.
have the Harman Kardon radio, so you're correct. There was no credit for not having that radio. I would not have purchased the car without that radio.
Yeah.
I'm just, and I don't even drive that much. But
Sorry.
when I do drive, I want to listen to good tunes and I want to be able to hear them well.
So bringing back to 2023, do you think July of 2023?
It like I said, depends on the economic situation at that time. I would suspect that maybe we'll see some improvement in new car manufacturing numbers and on-hand inventory numbers. And if there are, then we should see some improvement in pricing. If there isn't, then I think we'll continue to see ourselves in the same situation we're in today.
So I was doing some thinking earlier today because here at YA, we're obviously trying to build a business, and I was. This is literally my writing from this morning. It hasn't been edited yet, so hopefully I don't have too many typos in here. But I want to get your take on this.
Okay.
I asked myself,
Yeah,
what isn't going to change in the next 24 months? Because if we're going to try and build a business during all this, I want to kind of bank on the things that I don't think are going to change.
yeah,
Recession.
yeah.
An economic slowdown will impact the majority of consumers. Consumer spending will decline across discretionary industries. Auto sales will decline significantly. Auto service and repairs will stay fairly steady, but decline more than during the Great Recession because fewer consumers commute to work.
I think that could be true.
Consumers will drive less. Consumers will continue to drive less as a result of changes in our ways of working post-pandemic. The quote, new normal for consumers will be significantly fewer miles per year than in pre-pandemic years.
That one I'm not sure about.
All right. The car shortage will continue. Automakers will continue to struggle to produce enough new vehicles to meet consumer demand. The ripple effects from lost production in 2021 and 2022 will permeate throughout 2023, 2024, and 2025. We should expect a shortage of quality used cars and prohibitively high prices for in-market car buyers. Used vehicles will continue to appreciate, or at a minimum not depreciate, as they did in pre-pandemic times. The average age of a vehicle on the road will continue to increase as consumers hold on to their existing cars longer.
And I agree with that. And one of the reasons they'll hold on to their existing cars longer is because, well, they won't have the option of buying something because there just won't be that much available.
Increased consumer demand for fuel efficiency, PHEVs and EVs. Even as consumers drive less, we should expect to see continued and increased demand for EV and hybrid powertrain vehicles. More consumers will become EV and hybrid, quote, curious and consider those powertrains for their next vehicle.
Yes, I think the EV revolution is inevitable at this point. There's no stopping that train.
And I think, and I was very intentional with saying PHEV. Plug-in hybrid
Yes.
electric vehicle, and also just hybrids in general. I mean, Toyota's all in on hybrids, and they sell the most cars in the United States. So rising interest.
I think they sold the most cars in the world.
There you go.
Yeah.
Rising interest rates make borrowing more expensive. In an effort to mitigate inflation, we should expect interest rates to continue to rise. As the cost to borrow money increases, consumers will be more cash conscious than before. That one I think is a pretty safe bet. Those are my thoughts around what like the next, 2 years looks like. I don't think, to answer that question about 2023, nothing really changes between now and 2023.
No,
in my opinion.
and the only one of those that I would have any argument with would be people driving less.
You think so?
And the only reason I say that is there's an awful lot of businesses that are committed to long-term leases on office buildings.
Yeah.
And if they're going to pay the damn rent on those office buildings, at a certain point, they're going to tell their employees, hey, we appreciate the fact you loved working at home and you might have even been more productive working at home, but we really want you back here. I mean, we're paying for all this stuff. We want you back here. And I think you'll see more and more employers insisting that their employees come back to the office, which will cause more people to be driving again. So
yeah,
that's
I
just
don't know.
me. I could be wrong, but there's so much money committed to rents for all this office space.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, we've got a question here from Daniel Miles. Thank you for the thoughtful contribution. Talk holdbacks, advertising assistance, floor plan assistance. Any way dealer makes money from the factory when I buy a new car. Yeah, you want to break this down?
Yeah, well, they make money on holdback.
Explain what holdback is, if you don't mind.
Holdback is like a bonus you get for selling the vehicle. It's typically paid quarterly. Typically, it's somewhere between 1 and 2.5% of what the base MSRP of the vehicle is. It's called under the line money. Okay, so there's the invoice price, and you see what the invoice amount is, and then And then holdback is what the dealer gets paid after they deliver the car. And typically, as I said, that gets paid quarterly. Floor plan assistance is to help cover the dealer's expense of having to finance the car and have it sit on the lot. Now, because there's so few cars sitting on lots, floor plan assistance can, in many cases, become a profit center. Okay, because if you're selling the car within 3 or 4 days of it coming in, well, you're not really paying it much in the way, if anything, in the way of interest for having put that car on the lot.
Exactly.
And so whatever assistance you get from the manufacturer just becomes profit. Advertising assistance to help you advertise and market the car. Dealers are spending less today than they have in the past per vehicle sold to advertise them. So that's an additional profit center for dealers because that whatever that money is or whatever that amount is from the manufacturer is not always getting spent in the full amount.
Holdback, FA, what's FA?
Floor plan assistance.
FPA, floor plan assistance, and advertising assistance plus demo money for demos and service loaders.
Yes. Yeah.
What's demo money for service loaners? Demos and service loaners.
Well, oftentimes BMW would say, okay, well, if you take 10 vehicles out of your inventory and put them in demo service or service loaner fleet, we'll pay you an extra $500 per vehicle for having done that. Okay, so they're reducing the cost of that vehicle by $500. So if you put 10 cars, there's $5,000.
Yeah.
They're not doing that. I don't think they're doing that in too many cases. I know at the mini store, they have 4 service loaners, 4. They used to have 40.
Yeah.
They've got 4. Of course, you can't afford to take cars and put them in the service loaner fleet. You need to have the cars to be able to sell to your customers.
Yeah, you really do. Shannon Neal, thank you for the thoughtful contribution. A small gift for your great work. Not in the market, but I watch this every Saturday night. Educational and entertaining. Perfect mix. Thank you for the kind words.
Well, thank you. That is very, very sweet. And that truly is what we try to be: educational and entertaining. And I will admit that we fail on both levels many, many times.
We try our hardest.
Yes.
Let's
not to fail.
Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the market. Let's provide a bit of an update to everyone. Lots of data from Cox Automotive this week. New vehicle inventory remains stuck in neutral in April. The big storyline here, Dad, average listing price for a new vehicle increased back over $45,000. The average listing price for a new vehicle is now $45,171.
What was the list price of the car I just bought? 44.2.
I closed the it was
44.2.
Yep.
No, it's below average. Once again, I'm below average, ladies and gentlemen.
My favorite line from this article, and we'll read both of these pieces. Of the 30 highest selling models in the U.S., those with the lowest inventory were mostly imports, particularly Toyota and Honda brand models. At the bottom were the Honda CR-V, Subaru Crosstrek, Honda Accord, Kia Sportage, and Toyota Corolla. If you're not using the join YAA.com car search for these things, so let's just do a quick Honda, what do we say? CR-V. Use the car search. We're here to be able to help you. So nationwide, let's do new. Supposedly there's 6,500, but some of them, as you can see here, are marked as in transit. They're not actually on the dealer's lot, but you can get a sense for what that out the door price likely will be. Anyway, definitely take a peek back on the car search. Then we've got, Dad, the top 30 selling models with the highest inventory are mostly domestic full-size pickup trucks and SUVs, including the Ram 1500, Chevy Silverado and Silverado HD, the Ford Escape, and the Explorer.
Yeah.
So good insight there for everyone. And let's actually put it to the test. So Ram 1500, let's go back to the car search. So what do we say? Ram 1500. Oh, man, there's so many options. Let's just do this. Probably clicked the wrong one. Yep. Come on, gang. We gotta tighten things up, but that's okay because we're working on it. Model Ram 1500. There we go. Man.
Makes you feel better.
It makes me feel great. 1500. There we go. No? Well, all right. No, we're sticking with it. 1500 pickup, maybe? There we go.
Okay.
All right, there we go. 35,756 for sale nationwide. Excuse me, a lot more than The Honda. Then my favorite line here, Dad. Do you
Yes.
believe this at all? In terms of price categories, under 20,000 had scant inventory of less than 6,000. I believe that.
Yes.
Less than 6,000 new cars with a price point under $20,000.
Yes.
An available day supply of 34 days. Can you briefly explain how there's no freaking chance that that's actually accurate and what that means?
Well, somebody pointed out to me, if you read the bottom of that page, it says it's a rolling inventory, a rolling average. So, because it's a rolling average, perhaps, but I still don't see how 6,000 cars would be a 34-day supply, especially in your cheaper models.
There's no chance. If there's 6,000 out there, there's more than 6,000 people that are going to watch this
Yes.
video who would buy probably a
Yes.
$20,000 price point vehicle. Now, let's flip things over and let's then talk about the used market.
Okay.
Data, again, coming from Cox. We're not even looking at Black Book. The average listing price for a used vehicle right now is above $28,000, $28,365 with nearly 69,000 miles on the odometer.
Crazy times.
Dad, that's nuts
Yes.
and continues to be nuts.
The good news is somebody will be able to buy a lovely 2020 Clubman SL4 in Moonwalk Gray with blue indigo leather interior, fully loaded, original list price of $42,400.
Yep.
Okay, with 16,256 miles on it. I believe it's going to be certified, and that'll probably be somewhere in the area of around $35,000 as a certified car. And it's got, I don't know, 52,000 less miles than what the average $28,000 car would have. I think I'd be looking at that.
Yeah, definitely. Now, another thing, just keep rolling with me here, just to make sure everyone understands. We did a video, I guess it was
The good
2
news
weeks
is
ago.
I'm fat enough to roll, so yeah.
2 weeks ago, we did the bubble has burst because we were calling out.
Yeah.
We got a lot of slack for it. We get it. But we were calling out the
It wasn't
people.
slack, we got flack.
We got flack.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We got a lot of flack because people were saying the bubble hasn't burst. And no, that's the whole point. The bubble hasn't burst. We were kind of making fun of the people who said the bubble has burst. Wholesale used vehicle prices increase in first half of May from seasonal adjustment.
There you have it.
So yes, if you adjusted the numbers in a certain way, the last week of April looked like you maybe were losing value in used cars. No, they're still going up.
I will tell you that I did speak to my dear friend Chip today.
Oh, how's Chip doing?
Chip is doing well. I will say that they're still paying a lot for pre-owned cars. Pre-owned cars are not selling nearly as well as they had been at their dealerships. New cars, they're knocking the socks off of people.
Really?
They're on pace for the biggest profits on a monthly basis that they've ever had. Used cars, they're still making some money on them, but they're using that more to draw traffic into the stores than they are worried about selling them so much.
Here you go. So it seems that it is better to buy a new car than a used one. We stand behind what you did today.
Yeah, we've been saying that for months.
Yeah, new car at or below MSRP.
Yes.
Some manufacturers like Stellantis, you can get below MSRP.
Oh,
Some
absolutely.
manufacturers like Toyota, MSRP is incredible.
Yes.
Tweety US News, used equals pre-owned. Yep, they're used synonymously.
Yes.
All right, now, Dad.
Yes.
The kicker here is
Okay.
those people who are holding on to their cars.
Yes.
Well, it's getting more expensive. Dealership service revenue hits record in April with less activity.
Wow.
So it's the elusive. I was gonna say triple win. It's only really a triple win for maybe the dealers. Maybe it's the triple negative. You've got new car prices going up, used car prices going up, the cost to maintain the vehicle that I'm not going to sell because prices are going up.
Mm-hmm.
Inflation? I don't know. Maybe just a little bit.
Could be.
Could be.
Could be.
Now, another interesting story, and then I'll turn our attention back to the chat, Dad.
Yes.
Nissan will put certified pre-owned stamps on non-Nissans.
What the hell is that?
This does not freaking end well.
What is that? How do you do that? How do you certify a pre-owned that's for a Nissan that's not a Nissan?
Let's read it.
Okay.
Automotive News recently followed us on Instagram, by the way. If you're not following us on Instagram,
Yes.
it's Instagram. I guess just go to Instagram and then what are we?
YAA.
Your Advocate Alliance. We're
Yeah.
Your Advocate Alliance.
Yes.
My dad is Raz's Jazz. He posted on his story today. I was very proud of him. And I'm at
I don't know what I did, but
and I'm Chef Scott. You should follow us. Follow us on Instagram. The reason I bring that up, Pops,
yes.
the expanded certified pre-owned program will generate revenue for Nissan and widen the brand's exposure to new customers. Automotive News followed us. We're going to break down this Automotive News article.
Okay.
With new car supplies disrupted, Nissan Motor Corporation is helping its dealers step up their used vehicle game. This fall, the automaker will launch a certified pre-owned program for non-Nissan brand vehicles. The vehicles will receive an 84-point inspection.
84 point?
That's like
Not 83, not 85, not 156, ladies and gentlemen, but 84 points.
and a 6-month, 6,000-mile limited warranty.
Woo-wee!
Compared with a 167-point inspection and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for Nissan brand CPOs.
See what that extra 83 checks gets you?
Nissan hopes the expanded program will draw shoppers who might not have otherwise considered the brand to its store, creating opportunity to flip them into a newer used Nissan when it's time to upgrade or buy a second vehicle. We want to build connections. The program generates revenue for Nissan through certification fees and widens the brand exposure to new customers.
Yeah, come on. I want to see what the dealer benefit is.
Yeah, here you go. Slade said that at his dealership, CPO customers are 30% more likely to return and buy a new vehicle. Interesting. CPO sales account for a slice of the 40 million unit used vehicle market in 2021, and 16% of all used cars sold through franchise dealers were CPO'd last year. Dealers sold about 2.75 million CPO vehicles last year, up about 5% from 2020. Nissan is the latest automaker to see the value in helping dealers grow the used vehicle business to build customer loyalty. For more than a year now, Ford has offered certification and limited warranty for non-Ford vehicles. General Motors will follow suit this year with a similar initiative. Oh, here you go. H. Greg. We know the folks over at H. Greg. What'd they say? They said Nissan's expanded CPO program will help retailers dealing with lean new vehicle supply. I don't think Nissan would be doing this. Going down this path of new car inventory was healthy. That's a great justification for why you're doing it.
I don't think they would either.
Here it is, Pops.
Yeah.
According to J.D. Power, in the first quarter of 2022, the gross profit on a CPO vehicle from a mainstream brand was $587 higher than on a non-CPO vehicle. Yeah.
Timeout. Yeah. Higher for that brand's certified pre-owned program. You know, the one that got you that 6-year, 100,000-mile warranty as opposed to that 6-month, 6,000-mile warranty. So I don't think having a non-Nissan that's certified is going to get you $587 more in profit.
Here you go, Pops. Breaking news. Just in, Vroom is actually starting their certified pre-owned program as well.
And what does that mean?
They do a 72-point inspection, actually.
Yes.
This is preying upon.
They should do a 98-point inspection for the 98% decline in their stock value. 1 point for every point of decline in their stock value.
Oh, a good one.
Yeah, it was.
This is what I don't like about this.
Yes.
CPO.
Yes.
From a brand.
Yes.
Carries weight right now.
Yes.
More than it probably should, because it's really, I mean, we were just putting it up there. It's just a profit center.
Yes.
And you do get, as a consumer, you do get some benefit. It went through this inspection. It makes you feel good.
Allegedly.
Now,
I'm saying allegedly today.
Yeah, and that's fair. And now when I go in and the dealer tell me, no, this is CPO'd.
Yeah.
I still have that connotation. Oh, like, okay, it must like have a longer warranty. And it's like, no, you're really getting no value there. And you know what? They're going to jack the price up probably a significant amount.
Yeah.
Because it's CPO'd.
Yes.
Really doesn't make me happy to see stuff like this, because I think it's disingenuous. It takes away the actual value that being certified pre-owned actually brings to the table.
It's like any independent used car dealer offering a CPO through some independent
it's the same
source. Yeah, it means nothing.
All right, I want to put something to the test here, Pops.
Okay.
Tom says, I have a 2018 Civic hatchback Sport with 18,000 miles on it. Think I can get $30,000 for it.
That seems a tad high.
Let's see. I was working on today our valuation algorithm.
Yeah.
And it's really our valuation. So if you go to our website, so we said a 2018 Civic hatchback Sport. Okay, 2018 Civic hatchback Sport.
Yeah, it's still a 2018 Civic hatchback Sport.
Our valuation algorithm is all about market value.
Okay.
So not necessarily what you're going to get. Actually, to be clear, not what you're going to get as a trade-in. Maybe what you get private party, but really what a dealer is going to try and sell it for. So we said it was a Civic hatchback Sport.
Yes, 2018. With 18,000 miles on it.
I just need to find a VIN really quick.
Okay.
So give me a second. Year
2018.
2018. All right, give me a VIN. Is that 18,000 miles on it?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to grab this VIN. I'm going to go to selling.
Yeah.
I'm going to plunk that in.
Yeah.
Let's do Maryland. That's where we are.
Okay.
We said 18,000.
Yeah.
Market value. Let's see what the market value is. I don't need to be getting text messages. Drum roll, please. Market value.
There you have it.
You're not getting 30,000 for a Civic
Not this
hatchback
week.
Sport. Not
this week. No.
Also, to be very clear, am I going to receive spam phone calls or emails right now?
Yeah, Warren's going to call you from Italy.
Warren's not going to call from Italy. And here you go, Space Saint to get the CarMax. They love those Civics.
Yes.
Over there. Oh, man.
There you have it.
All right, Pops, how you feeling? How you doing?
You know, it's a little warm in here, buddy.
I'm schwitzing.
You're schwitzing.
You schwitzing?
Schwitzing.
I'm
Yeah,
schwitzing.
I'm a little schwitzy.
I'm schwitzing too.
Yeah, we're putting on the schwitz, buddy.
All right, let's go through a couple more comments here, and then
Yes.
we'll switch directions. We've got from
Yeah.
Jason.
Yes.
As a previous owner of a 2020 Clubman JCW, I'm loving the new Untold edition of the new Clubman. Any
Yeah.
chance we can get a father-son review?
Well, here's the good news. We're driving back to the Jersey Shore on Thursday, and which means, well, Zach's driving. So yeah, we could probably get a father-son review. Maybe we could.
We could record some
of
footage.
that. Yeah.
That'd be really fun. I would
Yeah.
enjoy that.
Yes.
We've got RWD, please. My little brother is turning in his lease in a few months. I sent him your recent video discussing current dealer
Yeah,
tactics. That's what we
don't turn
love
it in.
to hear.
He could offer it to the highest bidder at a dealership.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's impromptu. I'm sweating and I'm wearing like gray shorts. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be not pretty when I stand up.
Well,
Let's
then-
call it a
then-
night,
then
Pops.
don't stand up.
Let's call it a night. Your
Okay.
birthday is on Wednesday.
Yes.
If you are not subscribed to the Ray and Zach channel on YouTube, we'll be doing the stream. Maybe we'll do the stream on the YAA channel on Wednesday. We'll have to see.
Okay.
But it's your birthday on Wednesday. Looking forward to that, turning 71.
Yes.
We have a big release coming on the Join YAA website this week, probably on Wednesday or Thursday. So be on the lookout for that.
Wow. Yeah.
And if you're not on the community forum, please join us there. Lots of good conversation happening. I saw you were commenting left and right earlier today, and I really appreciated you doing that.
I try and get on there occasionally.
I appreciate that,
You know,
Pops.
You know, I'm there. I'm in the comments in the YouTube channel, and I'm on the forum, and you know, don't want to wear myself out.
All right. Well, thanks for doing this, Pops. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you,
I'm gonna
everybody.
take a shower.
Yeah, you need one.
Do I smell?
No, I didn't say that. So thank you, everybody. We'll see you back here Monday on the Ray and Zach channel at noon with the news that you can use from YAA. And until then, have a great weekend, everybody.
This is a great idea.
Yeah.
100%. We need to figure out how to do that. Thank you for suggesting it.
Okay.
See y'all.
Yeah.